Welcome back, everyone. It is final day and final lobbies of the Hearthstone Battlegrounds EMEA Cup, and here to talk you through it are myself, Sottle, joined once again by Educated Collins. And Collins, just based on the way these lobbies have been going, I have one simple question for you. What is going on?
What's going on is that players are understanding the meta rapidly, and they're really figuring out that Genie is busted, and they're really figuring out that my game plan is to get a 5 immediately. So you're seeing people just holding triples just so they can triple into a 4, getting the Genie and scaling from there.
Yeah, you say players, but I think in particular one player has been understanding that better than anyone else, and it's that player that we have on screen right now, RDU. We actually got a ridiculous statistic from our producer. The RDU by himself has 37 points in this tournament, which is 2 points short of being third on his own. He has more points than the team in fourth place combined right now, and would almost very nearly be in third place single-handedly. Absolutely insane performance from RDU so far.
Yeah, he's been hulking out. I mean, got to give him a lot of credit for these 2 days of play. It's just been immaculate from him and his teammates. So really nice to see people playing really well.
Yeah, and shout out to Abu Gabu as well. Like, I gave him a little bit of a hard time because he was not pulling his weight, but he absolutely did in that last lobby as well, pulling in the second place alongside RDU as well for maximum points. But here we go. Last crucial 2 lobbies now. Lobby number 7, lobby number 8. RDU off to a very nice start again. Solid hero with Kael'thas, and the dream start with this Elemental as well.
Yeah, if we look at the hero choices, it's only the AFK that's really a little bit sad about their picks. Everyone else has a hero that can perform well. So whoever's AFK Bootylicious, yeah, probably a little bit sad about that pick that he got, but everyone else seems to be a little bit happy.
So Alexis Diesel looked like he went roll into hero power here and then froze the remaining board state, which includes a token minion. Do you think he's going to go for the extra turn on level 1, look for the aggro curve here?
Yeah, I think if you're freezing a token minion with Yogg in the beginning, especially with that hit as well, I mean, there's really no reason not to just go for the aggro start at this point.
And he honestly kind of got the dream minion off the first hero power as well, right? The fact that he gets that little bit of early game scaling off all of these Murlocs being summoned, this is pretty huge for Alexis.
Yeah, I think the reason why he didn't hero power first is because if he hero powers hits the 3/3, he has to sell it anyway, so it ends up being really a slight punish. So he goes for the safer pick and ends up getting rewarded as well too. So really nice to see.
Yeah, insane turn 2 board. XQN on Jandice is going to be in a bit of a shock right here, as that solitary 2/3 Murloc is going to get absolutely annihilated. 5 damage coming through on turn 2 for XQN.
Yeah, he started with a 2/3, which is really one of the safer minions to start, but then unfortunately fought Yogg there when he's power spiking and hitting him for too much damage, I would say. Here's a really important role for Bootylicious here. Will he be able to get the dragons or the pieces he needs? The Soul Juggler start might be his direction for this game, but we'll see what he decides on realistic.
Yeah, there is that demon in the shop as well that can be picked up here. Crystal Weaver does have some synergy, but Xerus is the dreamer's pick.
Yeah.
Yep.
I actually like this play. I do think he might need to go for Xerus, especially with how high rolly everyone else has been. Makes a lot of sense to just go for the high roll here for himself.
Bootylicious throws his hands up as if to say, I mean, I don't know. Here we are. I have a Xerus. I guess we see what happens.
Yeah, what can I do?
Yeah. Looks like this should be a guaranteed tie. Yep. 2-1s are going to trade down into the Soul Juggler, so he gets away with it here, but he's looking for an instant spike off this shift to Xerus, and Metal Tooth Leaper is absolutely not it.
Yeah, that's not the role that he was looking for. Unfortunate as well. He really needed a spike because he didn't level this turn. One of the drawbacks of taking the 2/1 demon here. Now he's probably just going to level and roll and try to hope that he finds an Imprisoner there. But other than that, he unless the Xerus hits something really massive in a big way in the next couple of turns, he's going to be actually in a tough spot.
Yeah, certainly is. Even this turn, he might just about be starting to fall behind on power level since he wasn't able to pick up another demon.
Okay, decides doesn't want to go for the demon, just going for the Swabby so that he can level up earlier in the next following turns. Probably doesn't really care too much about the damage he's going to take, I guess, to make this play.
Interesting. I'm not sure what particular curve that necessarily opens up for Bootylicious here with that particular discount going on the tier 3 level up, but we will wait and see. It is going to be another victory for him though, just the power of the Soul Juggler is pushing him through right now, or specifically in that fight, the fact that his opponent was just rocking a solitary bomb on that turn.
Yeah, it's quite interesting to see him trying to power level back to 3 even though he skipped his first turn. I do think if he was trying to go for a normal curve, he probably shouldn't have bought the demon in the first place and just would have taken the damage early, but he's trying to salvage that from that position now.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. But another very disappointing Yes, yeah. We see it. We see it, Bootylicious. You are definitely getting unfortunate here. I think it's safe to say if this was RDU, the Xerath would have rolled into a Genie by now pretty easily.
Yeah, I do think that is true. If that was RDU's Xerath, it would have been Genie for sure. But we're taking a look at Habu Gabu. He looks like he has a triple. He's playing Daryl, so he's really deciding whether he wants to hold it and go for a 5 as everyone else has been doing, but looking for a little bit buff. I bet he wanted it to hit the elemental, but it didn't hit that, unfortunately.
Yeah, but I think here, because the double buff hit the 1 minion here, it's a pretty appealing freeze. Obviously, he wanted to freeze for the triple anyway, but he still had the option to take it that turn, as you were saying. But since they both landed on a different minion, he might end up just buying out this shot, potentially in Eternal 2.
Yeah, I don't think he needed to sell the Gambler there. He would have been, if he's planning on going for a 5-drop, it would have been a much cleaner play next turn to level and then sell the Gambler there and get the early 5 or early Genie and go from there, but decided to just go for the extra +2/+2 buff instead of holding the 3 gold. I wonder how that's going to end up affecting the match in the future.
Well, I'm wondering if he's thinking that he was going to buy out that shop and then also buy out the next shop while freezing the rock pool, right? And then level to 5 naturally or level to 4 naturally on curve, in which case like buying and selling the Gambler does make sense, right? Just to get it out of the shop and open up some more spots. No, he's not. Okay,
no,
I agree with you.
Yeah, he's just going for the 5, so...
Yeah, it was a possibility.
Yeah, I do think it makes sense if he was going to stay on 4 for a little bit longer, but no, he just going for the 5. I guess RDU is saying in the back of his head, get a Genie, get a Genie, and he's like, oh, okay, I have to change my plan, you know. But that seems to be the case because he goes for a 5, doesn't hit the Genie, but does hit the Life Fang and go for the Life Fang scaling.
Yeah, he did have the option for the Scuffed Genie in the form of Nat Pagel. Same thing, but just worse in every possible way. But yeah, he ends up with the Light Fang here just to give him that little bit of scaling. So outside of that one huge minion, Habu does find himself a little bit weak this turn, I would say.
Yeah, not going to lock for the 4/7, even though he does have mech targets to buff, and it is a pretty strong minion on its own, but just looking for the 5 didn't really hit exactly what he's looking for, but still pretty strong, having a gigantic Murloc to keep him healthy in the early game.
Yeah, turns out those Life Fang buffs are going to be very important though, because the extra attack scaling on these minions really shut down a lot of the value trades that would have been there. I think without the Life Fang buffs, basically every minion on Kael'thas's side would have survived there on the trades that it took, so saved himself a lot of damage there.
Yeah, we're taking a look at Olias on the Reno and seeing what plays he has. He's been holding on to the his the Murloc in his hand, but we'll see. Okay, so his game plan here is to triple and see if he can find a good 5 that he can hero power here. So this is a big turn for him. He hits Burgle. It's okay.
It's okay, but it's not like the minion that he wanted to hero power.
It's not a Genie.
Sure. Yeah, it's not a Genie. It's not a Nomi. It's not a Bran.
Yeah. He does have a lot of mechs, so this Burgle does look pretty enticing. It's just not a minion you want to hero power. It will probably keep him safe to be able to level up next turn and not take too much damage. He's also probably considering, oh, wow. Oh, he doesn't have that many Murlocs, but there are 2 Murlocs on the board, so I do still think the Burger would have been an okay play here. I can see why. Oh, he's going to hero power. Wow. I think this is a play that you make if you don't want to die, but it's not a play you make if you want to win the lobby. So kind of going for the less risky play, but kind of guaranteeing that he's going to struggle to find a composition that can win the round, though.
Yeah, I agree. It's very similar to a play we saw, I think, all the way back in Lobby 1 from Bootylicious, right? Where he goldened an egg very early on. This is very, very similar with the golden Sneeds. Obviously, Sneed's a slightly bigger minion overall to make golden, but it does mean he is going to dominate for a fight or two, you would expect. So it's a similar thing still to what you were saying about Bagurgle, where he's going to get to level manually and push, but it costs him his hero power, right? That's the big difference. He doesn't have that available anymore.
Yeah, I guess I mean he wants to punish some people, right? He's against Silvername. Maybe he realizes this is the opponent. This is who he's fighting for second. He doesn't care about RDU and Abu Ghabu anymore. So goes for the hero power on the Sneeds just so he can deal as max damage as possible to the opponents that he's fighting for, the positioning wise.
There's also an argument just in general. I really enjoyed listening to you and Gia talking about how the players are adapting to like the micro meta that we have in this tournament.
Right.
And that's another way of looking at it, right? There's like, okay, we've been letting people get too greedy. They've been getting to low health and then they've been scaling out of control. So I'm just going to kill people. Like, not necessarily Silvername in particular, but I'm just going to take Golden Sneeds, which is a minion that has the potential to drop like 12 points worth of damage from a couple of legendary minions, and just try and kill people early who are getting very, very greedy. I think that's potentially something that he's looking at as well.
Yeah, you make a very good point. You see in ranked, traditionally, the meta there is to kill people as fast as possible, right? So you wouldn't be able to do what RDU is doing in this round, where the games tend to be a little bit slower until people spike into the perfect elemental comps and start dealing 30 to people, right? In ranked, people spike immediately as fast as possible, right? So even from 9 gold onwards, you can be taking 15 to 20 damage from there. You're not really seeing that much that happening that much in these lobbies because people are playing a little bit slower, trying to guarantee their 5 drops, guarantee their triples, and because of that, people are getting the advantages that they want and not punishing people for their greedy plays.
Yeah, it's been a while since we checked in with Bootylicious, and as it stands, it really does not feel like his comp has progressed too far from what we saw last. Still just that one juggler, still just that one demon, trying to piece together whatever else he can with these Divine Shield minions, but looks like he is going to take another pretty big hit here.
Yeah, it's not the worst hit. He has one more loss in him. I don't think the amount of damage he takes matters as long as he doesn't die here. It looks like he's trying to make a menagerie comp from the pieces that he has, but it's not really something that's going to scale, especially without a brand or anything like that.
RDU just power rolling away this gold right now, looking for triples on these Murlocs. This is the first time in a while that we've seen RDU in trouble, but there it is, right in the nick of time. Does discover that Cold Light Seer, which is probably the best of the triples to hit here as well. But
he needs a Bagurgle here.
He does need to spike off this for sure.
Okay, Sneeds is okay. I don't know if it's going to be enough to keep him alive, but he does. His board is looking all right. And another thing to note is he could put the Sneeds earlier because the Sneeds can drop a Bagurgle for him. So if you are playing the RNG game, you could do it like that and hope that that carries you that way.
Yeah, it's a good point. Alexis on a Murloc build himself, weaker right now than RDU is, but he does have the brand. So over a long term, he will be scaling harder, and this is actually going to be the fight, RDU versus Alexis Diesel this round.
Yeah, I think that Jug is really important, giving him the extra stats he might need to keep alive. He might be selling that to hero power. Yeah, I think this makes a lot of sense. Maybe he can hit the either the 5/5, which is better than the pirate, or hit the 3/3 to get a better buff on the deflector.
Yeah, little mechanical touch that isn't always obvious there. Obviously, Stasis Elemental freezes the minions in the tavern, so you can freeze the whole tavern and unfreeze the whole tavern just to get rid of those minions so they don't take up spots in your shop for the next turn, which is exactly what Alexis does.
Yeah, I've definitely seen some players hit something they wanted from the Stasis and then freeze everything afterwards. Like, it was already frozen, you know?
Baron, very underwhelming drop off the Sneeds, and I think just that extra spike on the couple of points of...
The poison might be able to save him, wow, it looks like RDU is gonna die here, and finally a good performance from Alexis Diesel, taking out RDU in last place. What or maybe 7th, but probably last place. But
will
7th,
wait and
okay.
see. Boodalicious, yeah. Boodalicious did not really look like he had anything coming together, so I was very suspicious that he was going to die there. But Lobby progressing very, very quickly. But we are going to wave goodbye to the absolutely dominant player that we've seen so far, and now it is just down to Habu Gabu to keep pushing the lead of our dominant team so far.
Yeah, he does seem to be. It's still. They're still in a very good spot. They didn't get the last, so they're still getting a point from the 7th place performance. So they are still edging out something for themselves. And it looks like Daryl's in a pretty good spot. He's looking to dance on the Battle Master and have a really good board. He also has the Life Bank skilling that we saw earlier. He's deciding to commit on that and just go all in on the Life Bank. So we can see he has a game plan. He's making it work.
Just Daryl things, sells double Nomi just to buff up a Battle Master by a few points.
I mean,
Classic.
how good is Nomi anyways, right? That's really what you have to ask.
Yeah, garbage minion. Doesn't even drop off Genie. Why would you ever play that?
Yeah, for sure. Looks like we're having a lot of fun in this board, doing a lot of taunt compositions. It's nice to see. I really like this. Is probably my favorite composition. It's gotten a little bit weaker with all the elemental skeletons and things like that and the dragon skilling, but it's always nice to see someone going back to their standards and some fun.
So what you're saying, Collins, is they should reintroduce Phalanx Commander back into the game so you can actually get that taunt synergy?
I actually didn't hate that unit when it was in the game. I actually utilized it quite a bit, so maybe there is some hope for that.
Oh, Battlemaster still tanking here, just on the eyeball test. There's a few value trades to be taken here, but I think it's going to clean everything up quite nicely, and this is going to be a clean win for Habu Gabu, and 10 damage getting pushed here as well, dropping Jandice down into one-shot range, but that is, goddammit, dealt with on the Ragnaros by the Reno as well, and if that was the plan, to cash out value early on that golden sneeze to be able to kill people, it's absolutely working so far as he does claim the scalp of goddammit on Ragnaros.
Yeah, it looks like that Reno hero power actually turned out to be super good for him because he's been able to just knock people out of the game before they can power spike. He realized that he didn't hit a good minion on his 5 hit. He didn't hit a Jhin, so he went for the next best thing. I'm going to hero power the minion that can deal the most damage to his peers. So he's been hitting people for 20, kind of being a pseudo RDU, you know, in this game, just knocking people out before they can power spike. So really good adaptation, realizing that he didn't get the big break that he wanted, but went for the next best thing.
And I think you can see it, right? Just in the lobby, that people are adapting to the fact they were letting the meta be a bit too greedy in the previous lobbies, because this one has progressed much quicker than we've seen previous lobbies progress, all the way down to top 4 already, with a lot of players dying very quickly. So I think this is a conscious decision from a lot of players to understand that they need to play a little bit more aggressively and not just let RDU in particular sit back and just build up that massive elemental board.
Yeah, you can definitely understand that people are really seeing that, okay, every game is going to big elementals. That doesn't happen in ranked. What are they doing in ranked that it's not every game big elementals? Oh, they're killing me. Yep. Let me try that. That seems to be what's going on right now.
Yeah. Habu engineers himself into a bit of a poison scam comp here to be able to pick apart some of these minions. And meanwhile, the Reno has actually leveraged that Golden Sneeds into the position where he is now building up that double Lil Rag board, has a gold grubber of his own beating away as well, but this is a giant board state left remaining here.
Yeah, getting the Hero Crown Sneeze allowed him to level to 5 next turn, and it looks like he hit a couple triples after that to hit 2 rags and using that to make a break for him. However, he still loses.
Very nice.
He
does.
Gerald being strong.
Yeah, big win from the Daryl. I think a couple of attacks at the end really decided that as to where the Battle Master was going to trade. But now we cut over and see XQN on the Jandice eliminating Silvername. So Silvername is going to go out in 4th place here, which means one of Oliek or Habu Gabu will get to fight the Ghost. And it looks like it's going to be Habu Gabu who has that free turn against the Ghost, which you love to see as Daryl, because it allows you to kind of set up one of those big 2-turn dance turns to really just improve your board with one huge minion.
Yeah, it looks like both players have a really good setup to scale. I don't know how strong the Jandice is. We haven't really taken a look at it. We know that this Reno player is going to be buying all the elementals we have, but I kind of wonder. Jandice is on 6, so probably has a game plan trying to find more Malgadons or something like that. But it looks like he does have an Malgadon on his board. Probably tried to hero power. He does also have a brand. Maybe he's gonna sell either the Amalgadon, but he probably wants to keep that for next turn. Either the Amalgadon or the 1310 and try to play the brand and the taunt buffer. I can really see him selling. Yeah, he's realizing that he can't be too green with the Amalgadon. He just has to go for the stats this turn. I do understand the pain in his heart. He actually could have ended on the egg if he wanted to. So deciding on ending on the 2/3 instead of ending on the egg. Wonder what the reasoning for that is.
I can't really think of one. I think it's just a mistake, right? Just having less stats on the board at the end of the turn. Yeah.
Sometimes players have their own game plans and they're really deciding on things, but that does just seem to be an oversight not to end on the egg there. Probably won't matter too much since all the minions that he will be facing has so much attack.
Yeah, XQN clearly familiar with the Reno board here as well. Knowing that he needed that bumper up first. Obviously, he lost a little bit of value because of the Majordomo buffing up his brand in a position where that's not really relevant, but he needed that bumper up first to deal with the big Divine Shield minion on the Sneeds. And he is going to get rewarded for his lack of greed by just winning by a few stats, right? You can see where that brand Strong Shell might have come into play to be the difference between winning and losing that fight.
Yeah, Egg may have dealt maybe 4 more damage, but that probably wouldn't have mattered too much anyway. So, no, he's Jandice. Yeah. This is okay. I'm wrong. He's right. He's hero powering it. So we definitely messed up here, and we didn't identify that he was playing Jandice and wanted to hold it in his hand so that he can hero power it next turn. So I do want to say that we did mess up here. We didn't really understand what he was doing here, but he does make the big decision to hold on to the 2/3 so that he can hero power it next turn. Makes a lot of sense.
It's fine, Collins. All that means is that you're now officially part of the squad. You've had your first catastrophic caster mistake. Like that's all it means. You're just part of the team now. Like you're welcome. You are one of us now.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunate for us. I do think he did make a good game plan keeping the 2/3. It makes a lot of sense. He's gonna get +20/+20 this turn, and the difference between the egg and the 2/3 really didn't matter at all. So this just makes way more sense now that we've seen the next turn and why he made that decision now.
Yep. Absolutely correct play, of course, from XQN, and he is going to get potentially rewarded here with a huge additional buff in stats, and it looks like he might just try and hold on to it here, maybe for one additional turn. It's so scary just to have that extra 2/3 taking up a board spot when you're in these clutch late-game fights. But the amount of scaling it provides to him is absolutely insane. And actually, just winding all the way back, I think this is something he's been planning for a long time, right? Because we joined him around the 9 gold, 10 gold mark, and he was already building the taunt comp, as you were calling it. And I think this is something that he really had as a plan in the back of his mind for quite some time.
Yeah, we really got to see where those Divine Shields ended up. I think that was like the deciding factor in how smooth that the Daryl would have in this battle. But the Divine Shields hitting probably some of the worst minions. I would say none of the Divine Shields and the 2/8 as well. Really making him struggle against that Gnar that the opponent has at the end. Oh, yeah, that's really bad.
Oh, once again, just by a few points of health, but it's a few points of health, but an enormous amount of damage as exactly 17 comes through, and actually the Strong Shell being the tier 5 minion and actually still managing to take a value trade ends up sealing the fate of Habu Gabu, who goes down in 3rd place, and we are down to a straight head-to-head now between Oliek and XQN for the top 2.
Yeah, really unlucky though for Daryl there, because if those Divine Shields hit any which way, if it was a little bit better, it would have given him the ability to survive there, and he might have been the one knocking XQ and out of the game. So really just unlucky there, but still good performance. I don't think Habu really has to worry. 3rd place is definitely good enough to edge out a massive lead anyway, so he's not going to feel too sad about the end result there, even though he was a little bit unfortunate there.
Yeah, Completely agree. Oliak, in the meantime, hits a triple on Wildfire Elemental, uses the board space before he commits the triple to play a Toxfin on his War Leader, just in case there's any absolutely massive minions on the other side that he does have to deal with. And now, no matter what this triple is, unless it's another little rag, it's probably not going to be worth a board space here.
Yeah, I think we're kind of looking at the end game compositions for both of these players.
Yep.
They did the best they can. It looks like the Jandice did finally sell the 2-3, which makes a lot of sense to put another cleave in just in case that the opponent has a lot of cleaves. So we'll see which of these players will edge it out. I do have my bets on the Jandice.
Yeah, once again, this Divine Shield is going to be crucial, but you can see now as they line up against each other, the XQN has Oliek covered in multiple positions here. There's only really a few favorable trades available on the board.
Oh, that's massive, though.
It is, but still so many stats remaining on XQN's side of the board that it looks like this is going to be a big victory for XQN here on the Jandice. Jandice really continuing to put in work throughout this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, I knew Jandice was busted even after removing the Purgos, but yeah, we're really seeing how busted she still can be in the hands of these extremely good players. They really just abuse the ability of just getting battle cries and really reutilizing those advantages over and over to make boards that are just unstoppable realistically in the hands of us regular folks.
Yeah, especially when you actually notice that you're playing Jandice, right? Unlike we did. I think that's pretty key to the situation. You actually recognize which hero you're playing and start bouncing that strong shell, which obviously was the key to victory there. Not only like going for that play, but also holding on to it for the exact right number of turns. Like you could have accused it of being a little bit greedy to hold on to the 2-3 for the 2 extra turns that he did. But you know, results-wise, they paid out. He manages to get those extra stats over the course of a couple of turns, and then just for that last fight, he throws it away and just sets up with the most powerful minion that he could replace it with, and the sake of the Foe Reaper. So I think very, very cleanly played game overall there for XQN.
Yeah, we're taking a look at the standings here. You can see that there are some clear favorites here. Habu Gabu and RDU didn't have the best of performances, but they've been absolutely dominant so far. And as long as they don't make a massive throw and Alexis, Diza, and Oliad make a massive hulking play, it looks like they've locked in the top spots. It is a little bit not close in that everyone's kind of a bracket away where it's 10 points to 8 points to another 10 points where each team needs a huge performance to take a position above their opponents. Yeah,
it's still very possible though to close that gap one place up above you, because obviously you can have a 13-point lobby, right, if you do an RDU and Habu Gabu and take down the first and second together in a lobby, so it can still be done, but you can see only one lobby left to play for, so it does look like the rubber is about to meet the road here, and Habu Gabu and RDU really don't need to do much to secure this first place. But even with that said, I don't want them to start playing safe. I want them to keep doing what they've been doing throughout the tournament so far, because it's clearly working, right? Like, why change up the strategy at this point just when suddenly all you need is a safe performance?
I actually like them playing safe here. I actually just think, okay, we just need to get someone needs to get fourth. That's it. That's all we need to do to guarantee a victory here. Let's just not kill ourselves and get 7th and 8th together. So I actually would love to see them just not go for anything crazy, not go for the hulking, I need a genie or I lose game plan. Just roll normally, just level normally, just have a nice game plan, just get a 5th, get a 6th, doesn't matter, we still win.
Okay, different question though, Collins. You said that's what you'd like to see them do. Do you think that's what they are going to do? Okay, right.
I don't think they're going to do that, but if they wanted to guarantee a win, I think that's what they should do. I don't think they're going to do that though.
Yeah, it remains to be seen. And still, obviously, outside of first place, so much on the line. Obviously, the prize pool breaks down for second, third, and fourth. So every place is still important for these players to fight for up until this point. So do you think there's any chance? Obviously, we saw a big performance there for XQN. Do you think there's any chance to see him getting the yellow team climbing back up and not finishing in fourth place here on Sunday?
I think it's going to be extremely difficult because you've kind of see how good all of these teams are and how dominant they can be. So even if they can do really well, it's really tough for both of them to just both do really well and good enough while the other team that you need to beat does really poorly, right? So it's not just like you have to do well and then you're golden. It's you have to do well and then the team that is right above you has to do extremely poorly. So it's two sets of RNG that are not in your favor, right? Because if you were already doing well, you'd already be at the top and you wouldn't care, right? But if you were, and then the people that weren't doing as well, right? They have to do well, and then the people that are exactly ahead of them, right? So if RDU and Habu Gabu don't do well, that doesn't matter because only the black team can catch up to them. So if Habu Gabu and RDU do well and the other teams don't, you need the exact team to do well and then the exact team not to do well for it to matter. So it's